Ryan and Kevin, they're spitting the truth, keeping it real, keeping it orange and blue. Talking recruit, who's next in line? Line our pride, it's about that time. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post-game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue. From the court to the field, every play, every step. Debating the cause where the game is at. Who's rising, who's falling, who's making the cut. Line 9 for life, never stuck in the rut. Okay, recruiting buzz, they got the inside line. Post-game chatter, they're always on time. Breaking it down, they're the voices you trust. Orange and blue, yeah, they repping for us. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post-game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue, yeah. So tune in, lean back, let the wisdom flow. Ryan and Kevin with the knowledge they throw. Line 9 Nation, this one's for you. Forever proud, keeping it orange and blue, yeah. Orange and blue, orange and blue, yeah. Orange and blue, orange and blue, yeah.
Welcome. Another episode, Keeping It Orange and Blue. Another eventful week in Illini Nation, Kev. Other than your Illini, at least we can talk about your Bears, right? Congrats.
Saved my sports weekend. So Saturday was a horrible day. Start off with Illinois losing on the buzzer beater, and obviously we'll break that down tonight. Then I cheer for Army. I was in the Army. They lose a close one in their arch rival game against Navy, and then follow that up with the Thunder loss Saturday night in the NBA Cup, only second loss of the season to the Spurs.
That's a shame.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean that much, but it's just like, man, can one thing go right this weekend? So thank goodness the Bears handled business, and then obviously everything else went right for them. Denver beating Green Bay, Detroit losing. So
I almost feel as bad as like the poor Nebraska women volleyball team, you know? Don't you just feel for those gals? They lost for like the first time in 3 seasons, you know?
In the NCAA tournament?
In the Elite 8 at home to Texas A&M. Yeah.
Oh man,
those poor ladies, they lost. I mean, how are they going to handle it? You know, because life's always about winning. Because you're always going to win in life, right? It's not about trials and tribulations. It's about winning because you're always going to go undefeated every year, aren't we? No, it's okay. Get over it. I just am so sick of the timeline of like everybody like coddling the poor volleyball girls at Nebraska who are 33-0 this year, who finally lost an undefeated streak of however many games it was, 60, 70, 80 in a row.
It happens. It's why sports is wonderful, right? It's why sports is fantastic. It's why, Nebraska can come in and that's a historically bad basketball program can come into our house and beat us because you know what? That's a good team.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
It is a good team. And I can't wait to delve into this, Kev, because so many people are just talking like it's like Nebraska of like 3 years ago. Like it's like, oh, Nebraska just came in and beat you, man. It's Nebraska ball. You're like,
you can see why the staff wanted Sanford, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player. He hit some ridiculous shots too. I mean,
yeah.
But it's Lutulip talks about it a lot. Is you got to, and we did this to Thornton too. He made a couple easy ones. Sanford's first shot of the game, I was like, oh, take that shot all day long.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't want to let a guy get comfortable early. Like, you get him rolling, right? You give him a couple easy ones, which they did against Thornton. I don't think he made some – I would say half of them were tough shots.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then you just got to tip your cap. But I will say, Kevin, it does get it gets a little annoying. You're like, can we just have a game where people play like a normal person? People are just – all of a sudden pulling out their like Reggie Miller, Nick moment, it's like, can you miss a shot? Like, it's just getting old.
Right. And you go into halftime, it's tied 37-37 after a 13-0 run, but we had 26 points in the first half. Where's that game if he doesn't catch fire? And listen, Illinois allowed them to catch fire. They got to fix some things on the defensive end. That's the problem. One of the challenges that I think I'm having with this team as you look at it is, and if you go and listen, Jay Lehman was on The Drive today, 93.5. You can listen to their podcast if you like. I like to listen to Jay. I really like Jay. I like him as a person. He's always been kind to me. Obviously, being a Central Illinois guy, I cheer for him. I hope, wish him well in everything he does in life. But he talked about the consistency of this team and where it's coming from. So you have, Kylan averages 16 a game. You pretty much can count on him to do what he's going to do. He didn't do much against Ohio State, but that was all right. We let other guys cook. Andre Stojakovic is averaging 15. Keaton Wagler's averaging 15. Merkovich is averaging 13. Tommy's averaging 10. And then
we're going to get to Tomaslav. He has not been himself the last couple of games. We're going to talk about it.
Right. So what is so weird about this team is you have these games where Merkovich goes for 22 and 9 at Ohio State and is unplayable against Nebraska. That's your fourth leading scorer. You have the guys you can count on are like Wagler and Boswell. The rest are just like you don't know where it's coming from. And guys are just there's just these waves of inconsistency from what kind of production you're going to get from these guys. Like normally what happens is you come into a game, you're in Nebraska, right? Rienk Mast is your leading scorer. Peyton Sanford's your second leading scorer. Peyton Sanford goes off in the first half. Mast goes off in the second half. That Mast close to his average. Sanford's above his average. Some other guys below their average. We're good to go. With Illinois, it's like, which guy's going to carry the team tonight and which guy's going to kind of go in the crapper? And it's really hard to set any kind of consistency. When we've had games where Andre Stojakovic just doesn't show up. I mean, he was a no-show against UConn, and then he's a world beater this week.
And I will say this, Kevin, and I know it's going to be frustrating to people, but that's who this team's going to be. And here's why. The way Brad Underwood's offense runs is they focus on mismatches, and however they, you don't get to choose who Nebraska or whoever you're playing throws out there, right? So whatever the lineup is, they go and try to find the mismatch anywhere. And you saw plenty Stojakovic take advantage of who was on him, right? And hit the spin move, drive to the paint, right? Get the and one. And you saw that quite a bit. And then you would see Wagler take advantage of his matchup. And I think while that's going to be frustrating to people and people don't think that's really offense, that is the analytic style of Brad Underwood's offense that they want to run. Sure, they want to shoot a lot of threes, but it's not just let's shoot threes. It is who has the mismatch here offensively to take advantage of. That's why I think we're seeing so much inconsistency of like who is the leading scorer for today or who showed up today. But I will say David Mirkovic, to me, he's just showing his immaturity and his youth. That's why I think he's not, he plays like he had a 27 and 22 game earlier in the year, right?
Yeah.
And then he disappeared for a couple games.
Right.
And then guess what? Then he came back again, right?
Yes.
And then he just disappeared against Nebraska. He'll be back again soon.
Yeah.
It's just a young player who is still trying to find himself. You see the talent he's got, but Keaton Wagler isn't your normal freshman.
I understand that, Ryan, and you're right, and I agree with you. But the fact of the matter is, you have a guy in Tomaslav who was a 13-7 guy a year ago. That like what you can deal with the Tomaslav who averaged 13-7 a year ago is a 9-5 game, and then a 16-11 game, because that's why that average is out. Well, we're not getting that. We're not getting that from Ben Humrickhouse, who can't put the ball in the ocean right now, but he's playing because he is playing good defensively. This isn't a shit on Ben podcast because I know all the Illini fans like to do it. It's just these wild inconsistencies from guys you're not supposed to have wild, inconsistent games from. Andre Stojakovic is fitting in there. Sometimes Wagler fits in there, and the fact that he did no-showed against UConn, but I'll give freshmen grace. I'll give Wagler and Merkovich all the grace in the world. It's just what's happening with this team is you're seeing 2 to 3 guys play great, well above their averages, well above what they typically do, and then other people not contribute, like not even be themselves. Like what you typically see in a basketball team is one or two guys do better than what they normally do. One or two guys do a little bit worse than what they do, and the rest of the guys do what they do. And that's what you can count on night in and night out. And right now with this basketball team, we do not have it.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. I want you to know part of the title of this is SOS. Where is Tomaslav? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
Like that cannot be the norm. You can't have, oh wow, he hit a big shot against Ohio State. Great. Guess what?
He hit a big shot against Nebraska.
Yeah, but like that's all he's doing. It's
right.
Like he's just a body out there running. You know what I mean? It's like there's a guy out there who he's getting out rebounded. I'm gonna be honest, man. I've already said this. The toughness factor, we see it a little bit against Tennessee in the second half, right? We saw it some against Ohio State, but really when the push come to shove, like the toughness of the team, especially in the front court, I just feel like they're just soft at heart. You know what I mean? Like
there's so many tip balls,
that they just don't come up
with. That we just don't come up with it. And I don't know that that's a softness thing. Honestly, what I think it is, this team's not very fast. It's not very athletic. And so when those tip balls change of pace, it's kind of hard. I don't know, man.
Okay. I will say this.
But Nebraska's not that athletic.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, my good friend Kedrick Prince from Illini guys and me were chatting, and the whole athletic argument by many people, Alabama game, right? UConn, you can't say that with Nebraska. Okay, it's a bunch of white guys out there. I will give this: Mr. Hoiberg's probably more athletic than your average white guy, but
and so is Andre.
Yeah, but Andre is not a white guy.
He's classified as a white guy.
All right, a Greek, a Serbian, but anyway, Stanford. Okay, Stanford. You go down the list of the white guys on. Was it
Rakovic, who jumps out of bounds with the ball in his arms and gets the call timeout, which is an illegal play.
They played 2 or 3 about Breber, the freshman. Yeah. They had, Crawford, I think. Who took a charge on Stojakovic on a wild play. The point is that they are not uber athletic, okay? And they were able to get these loose balls, and Hoiberg fought Stojakovic off at the end of the game for a huge offensive rebound that created a bucket. And by the way, Hoiberg is not much taller than me, and I'm 5'9" on a good day, okay? And he out-rebounded 6'7" Stojakovic on the play because you know what? Because he wanted it more. And those are the things that bother me with this team right now. I think they care. Stojakovic talks a lot about wanting to be a better defender, and he's putting the effort and the time in. And there were moments that he did have some good defensive possessions, but if Ant Wright, he does a great job of highlighting flaws or positives of a certain team each week. He just showed how well Nebraska fared when they got paint touches, right? And there was way too many paint touches. Guys were, the final play of the game wasn't just, one of the only moments. I think it cost Illinois the game, but Kylan Boswell on that play was purposely staying with Sanford for a reason. So Stojakovic allowed Hoiberg around. Boswell didn't switch. And then my issue is while Wagler, did eventually get out there, my question is, why do you even run in there to try to help with that? Like there's so many moments where the youth of the team with Wagler and Merkovich rear their ugly head of just helping to help. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You can't just help because, in your head, I have to help. There's a reason Nebraska shoots so many threes. They want to shoot threes. Like, they want you to help for a reason. They purposely are driving in 10 to 15 feet from the rim to kick the ball out, which is all about scout. Brad Underwood was talking about how many blown assignments did they have. Like, the first play of the game, David Mirkovich blew a switch, which they literally had just went over, in pregame. But it doesn't matter. You're in the heat of the game, and they're not thinking about it. So just Cam Crocker was hired to fix some of this stuff, Kevin. So
yeah,
so he's gonna have to show up, I guess.
It's you say it right here. It's communication issues completely. There are just so many little breakdowns, and then I think that Brad has received some legitimate criticism for lack of ability to adapt in game. I mean, he does a lot of times at halftime, and we've seen some of that this year. We saw some structured changes in the half against Tennessee. We saw it, we saw it in the defensive setup with Texas Tech when Toppin was cooking us. But at some point in time, with Sanford going off, I mean, run some doubles at him, run a box and one, run a don't leave him. Like there was one where we left him when I think he already had 15 points, and we left him and he bangs a wide open three. It's like, and the guy's in a help defensive model. It doesn't take that much in a huddle to be like, we don't help off this guy. Like nobody's helping off Sanford while he's cooking. We'll give up a layup. Like it's fine, guys. We're going to move on to it. We're just not going to continue to let this guy stay scorching hot. So and it is the defense, because the team scored 80 points. They had 1.27 points per possession and lost. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't lose any games where you have 1.27 points per possession. And we lost to a team that is not – it's not like Alabama where they beat us with their athleticism. So the thing is this offense is really good. This offense still put up 80 points with almost no Tommy, almost no Merkovich. Nothing from Humrick House.
Let's be honest. If Illinois would have won that game, I would have felt like we stole it, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And
Nebraska,
it's not the USC loss where I think we lost to not a very good team.
Yeah.
This is a Nebraska team that's going to make the tournament. This is a good team. But
they thumped Wisconsin by 30 at home. They beat up Creighton
by 30.
They beat up Creighton by – I was just going to be honest here. It's not like Nebraska's just beating up the Sisters of the Poor. You know what I mean? Like this.
I don't know if Creighton's any good this year, but that's still a Greg McDermott coach team. But listen, this is
it didn't hurt it. And I'm going to revolve, Kev, and I'll let you – your final point here. I'll let you have it. The people try to say, oh, it's a bad loss, blah, blah. Who cares about the resume, blah, blah, blah. Well, I care about the resume. The coaching staff cares about the resume.
Yes.
The resume matters, and the Illinois loss to Nebraska did not hurt their metrics really at all. Like, if you look, they dropped from 12 to 13 in the net, okay, or 13 to 14 in the net, one spot. They're still a top 14, Kev. Ken Palm, Torvik, Haslam, and net team, all in the top 13 or 14. And so that has Illinois really staying in that 4-seed protected seed range. And Illinois has 3 quad 1 wins still. And I tried to say this, and I love that it was so 50-50 divided, right? Like I made the tweet and said, the sun comes up, Illinois still has 3 quad 1 wins, and half of their games have been 6 of the Illinois' 11 games have been quad 1 games. Okay. Right. They have a top 10 strength of schedule. And they split the toughest 6 games. Like it could be a lot worse. There's a lot of teams in March who are going to be on the bubble that don't have 3 quad 1 wins. Okay. So Illinois got tons of time. I think there's a chance they could get 10 or 11 quad 1 wins this year with as many teams Illinois is in the Big Ten has in the top 50 of the net. And remember, you only have to be a top 75 net team to win on the road to get a quad 1 win. So Illinois has plenty of chances here to have a protected seed resume, to do what it needs to do to put itself where it needs to go in March. Yes, the defense needs to be fixed, but accountability needs to be taken, I think, both places. And I think the fact that Brad Underwood will say, I obviously didn't do a good job. I have to do a lot better job in getting these guys prepared before the games, because he said that, guys had crappy practices before Nebraska.
Yeah.
And that showed, and it showed.
It did. And it's somebody on a line guy said something is like, is this Brad's like weird way of like allowing people to practice crappy before a December game that we lose at home? Like, it just seems like we've been 9-3 like every year for like the past 5 years.
Yeah. And we'll get to 12-3, right? As Big Ten play kicks off. That's about
right. And obviously it would have a great chance to start the conference season 2-0. Frankly, I was looking at the schedule and I was like, man, if we can find a way to beat Iowa, we'll be 17-2 going to Mackey. right? Where would we rank 17-2? And you just shit the bed in this one. And like,
well, now it could be 16-3. It's okay.
Maybe you're gonna beat Iowa at Iowa.
And guess what? Iowa is a top 26, 25 net team, and they will be ranked when that game starts because I've looked at their schedule.
Yeah, so we like I love the fact that once again it gets some days of practice in here, can work some guys in. I know that there's a lot of concern, like Petravvic not playing, Brandon Lee not playing. I would like to see Brandon Lee play some more.
Okay, we're talking about defense, right? Isn't Brandon Lee a defensive type of guy? Like
he is. He's Sincere Harris light on the defensive end. I guess my understanding is he has some team defensive dynamics that are not working well. He's really good as an individual defensive player. When he like in his roles and responsibilities, but not in like the overall team aspects. But the fact of the matter is he's a much better offensive player than Sincere Harris. Much better offensive player.
I think we both agree, and Brad Underwood has said Keaton Wagler doesn't need to be playing 40 minutes a game.
Well, you know who doesn't need to be playing 10 minutes a game is Jake Davis.
I think Jake Davis, he had 5 points?
I don't care. He's shooting 34% from 3. Now, before people get, 34.6% is good percentage.
That's elite, according to Brad Underwood.
That dude needs to shoot 45% because he shoots nothing but wide open threes.
Who?
Davis.
Okay.
He shoots nothing but wide open looks. He should be shooting 45. If he was shooting 45%, which is kind of like what Luke Goody shot last year at Indiana, then he would be playable. He would be serviceable. He is not. I'm sorry. If he's going to provide you nothing on the offensive end and he's just going to be good in rotational defense, play Brandon Lee. I'm sorry. It's a nonsense. There is nowhere next year. Jake Davis does not factor in your major plans of who you're going to be as a team. Knock it off.
I think you get Boswell 37 and Wagler 36 or so, and then you take 2 or 3 from Boswell and you take 3 or 4 from Wagler. You split those between Lee and Petravvic. I think Petravvic can offer something. I think because he came in, had an immediate turnover against Ohio State, he gets to the bench, and then he didn't play the rest of the game, doesn't play against Nebraska. I can tell you that. That's not how you build confidence in somebody. I can tell you that. I don't think it should ever be you come in and make a mistake and you don't play for 2 games. I mean, if that's the case, why is Jake Davis playing, right?
Well, Jake doesn't really make mistakes. He's just not athletic enough to make a difference. And then he goes to the free throw line and misses a free throw. Like, the guy should never miss a free throw.
And
what are you doing?
Tomaslav, I already know every time he goes to the line, he's going to miss it. Because he shoots it like he's shooting a 3. And it's always long every time.
He shot 75% last year.
There's something up this year. I don't know, man. And people, as Cookie said here, Cookie 11-9-81 thinks that he might still be hurt a little bit.
I don't know. Go watch the first half of the Tennessee game and tell me that guy's hurt. Go watch one of the first plays of the second half of the Tennessee game where he 2-hand crams on somebody.
Yeah, there is something going on there. I don't understand it. But you know what, though? If he is still ailing a little bit, they got 9 days between Nebraska and Missouri. And we will focus a lot on Missouri on Sunday night because bragging rights is next Monday. We got a week. But I will tell you this. Defending the 3-point line is not necessarily anything they need to worry about with Missouri. What they need to worry about with Missouri, guess what, though? Missouri will do.
Triple drive penetration.
Yes, but what Missouri will do is pound the glass, and they will out-tough Illinois if they don't get their shit together. I can tell you that. That is one thing Dennis Gates teams do is they are athletic, and they are okay with a physical game. Illinois has run them off the floor the last couple of years because they can – Illinois, I think, hit 12 threes, 13 threes, right? If Illinois is not shooting the ball well against Missouri – they're going to have to hit the glass and look like the team that's what was the second rated rebounding team in the country. Number 2, I think, with rebound margin.
Yeah.
Heading into Tennessee. So those things definitely need to be fixed. I may or may not have told a Illini staff member that they need to get the shoulder pads out and they need to get those dummy pads like they used to beat Kofi Coburn with. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And Hamlin. And they used to beat them with them to build toughness. And then guess what else they had? The treadmill, right, Kev?
Yeah.
Get the treadmill out. You know what, you guys, they don't want to. They don't want to perform. They don't want to play tough. They don't want to communicate. Every time someone makes a defensive problem or miscommunication in practice, tell them they need to go to the treadmill. I feel like how else do you instill that in a team? That should just be natural. But what do I know, right, Kev?
It's a very frustrating team because you can see all of the attributes they do have that they can be really good if they ever find a way to put it together.
I haven't given up though on the ceiling. I think I have seen that what they can. Yes, Alabama did get their doors blown off by Gonzaga, but I will say this: Illinois let the Bama game go. Yeah, Arizona, but Gonzaga blew their doors off too. But I've seen Illinois should have probably beaten Bama. You've seen them beat Tennessee. We've seen them beat Texas Tech. While those two, Tennessee and Texas Tech, aren't elite teams, those are teams you're going to probably see in the second round of the tournament, probably something like that. And Bama would be a team you'd probably see in the Sweet 16. Like I see where this could go. Illinois has the capabilities to compete. A 7-point game against UConn with 3 minutes left. I think you see there is enough talent to compete against very good teams and possibly beat them. So I think that you put it together. All Illinois needs to do, Kevin, is just be an average to above average defensive team. They don't even have to be really good.
No,
because their offense is so elite, they're going to win most of your games if you're just a little bit above average defensively.
And in fairness, Gonzaga beat Bama by 10, and Bama had a lead with 7 minutes to go, so they didn't get their doors blown off. Now, Arizona beat them like they owed them money. They beat them by 21.
Okay, still though, double-digit loss, and then the Arizona game, it was a little bit different. Still, it's still the fact you could have beat Bama. That's a team you'd play in the Sweet 16. For people to be like, we can't play against elite teams, blah blah blah. Okay, well we'll see when Michigan comes to town, right?
Here's the thing about the game Saturday. You lost by 3 points. You had the game tied with no time remaining, virtually no time remaining. Kid hits a shot. Sucks to lose on a buzzer beater. 2 years in a row, we lost some buzzer beaters at home. Don't remember. When was our last win on a buzzer beater? I don't remember. Was it John Ike in Iowa? I don't know. It seems like it's been forever since we won on a beat.
Ike was after Rayvonte Rice, right?
It seems. I know Io made some, obviously, the big shot against Michigan, but like it seems like forever since we've won one. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody can fill me in. But you give up, what was it, 4-5 points because you want to yell at a guy after you get a dunk and we got some momentum.
And then he said he doesn't care if you read his lips.
You miss how many and one opportunities, front ends or 1-on-1s?
Or free throw problems, yeah.
Right. You miss layups late. I mean, you miss open threes. It's just they didn't shoot well enough from the free throw line. They shot decent, but they don't shoot like this team should. If you're going to construct a team the way Illinois is constructed, and every single guy on that team can shoot that played on Saturday, you should shoot 80% from the free throw line. And if you shoot 80% from the free throw line on Saturday, you probably win the ball game. If you shoot 80% from the free throw line, you beat Alabama. You shoot 90% against some other teams and then 70, 65%, whatever, in some other games. It's a weird situation. It's this lack of consistency. You get any kind of performance from David Mirkovich that is playable, and he wasn't. It was just a hot mess from the guy. You win the game. There's just little things
think about that. You had Mirkovic and Tomaslav that were just awful. Just awful. And that's what is it, 50 minutes from Illinois' front line, Kevin, 7 rebounds?
Well, yes. And Ryan, here's the deal. We're 11 games into the season, right?
Yeah.
11 games into this season, and Mihailo's played in 6, Brandon Lee's played in 3. The challenge with this team and with this schedule, and I love Brad for scheduling this schedule, if the team would have been healthy to start. And I'm not making excuses, but when you play, we've played 5 games now against really good competition. We're 2-3 against them. And in those 5 games don't allow for Brandon Lee to play. They don't allow to work the Mihailo Petravvic stuff out. They don't allow for the team to gel as they're working in new guys who weren't able to practice. So in some respects, maybe like I don't think Brad is ever going to change his scheduling, but man, can we just get like one or two less of these I love 3 really solid non-con games maybe in Missouri. So take one off the schedule.
The UConn MSG game we could have done without.
Well, now we're going to get them back in Chicago next year.
Yeah.
We got Tennessee and Chicago next year, right?
I didn't realize they scheduled Tennessee back.
Or is it Bama in Chicago? Like we have.
We just played Bama in Chicago.
Well, no, there's one of the 2 of those. I think one of the 2 of those is continuing. No, Texas Tech. We got Texas Tech and Lubbock next year.
Yeah, we get Texas Tech and Lubbock.
So like it doesn't allow for your team to gel. It doesn't allow for you to realize what Mihailo Petravvic can bring to this team, what Brandon Lee can bring to the team, because you'd like to get those guys more minutes in the quote unquote bye games. And so it's an unfortunate reality. The fact of the matter is we play those games because those teams will schedule us. 10 years ago, those teams wouldn't schedule us. Playing Illinois would be nothing of advantage. Because beating Illinois is something you should do at that point in time, and losing to Illinois would be awful. Whereas if Texas Tech can play us at our place, it's a great game for them. They lose, so what? We lose against UConn, so what? If we beat Bama would be kind of like, so what? I was kind of so what after that game. I thought we were the better team and we lost. So the fact of the matter is the program has been elevated to a point that we're allowed to play those games. Now, I do get some concerns from the overall fan base is like, is this just who we are? We're going to be a team that wins 20-some games, finishes in the top half of the Big Ten, the top third of the Big Ten, and loses in the round of 32. How long do we accept that? Well, I'm not that guy. I'm a Brad Underwood guy. I'm a Brett Bielema guy because they both elevated the programs from where they're at. I do get that concern because this is a trend now that this team is looking an awful lot like some other teams. But the fact of the matter is I think that their ceiling is a lot higher. And I think that as the team goes on, the season goes on, this team will be able to elevate. So playing Missouri with a 9-day break is a really healthy thing, 8-day break, whatever it is. Then you get Southern after a week-long break.
Get some Brandon Lee minutes, get some Petravvic in there.
Yeah, you got to play those guys. Start them. Who gives a shit?
And I'm not going to say that the Penn State game is going to be easy because I saw Michigan State should have lost to Penn State in Happy Vet, but
they might have shot their shot on that one.
Yeah, but it is the fans won't be there. Their student section was the only fans that were there, but their students will be out on break.
Oh, we don't play them at some funky arena?
No, we actually play them in their normal arena.
Oh, nice.
And then we get Rutgers, who probably is the worst team in the Big Ten, back at home before you get to go to Iowa. So I think there's 4 games here. You can get yourself back, get yourself right, get yourself 12-3, 3-1 in the Big Ten for probably a top 20 matchup with Iowa, and then still 2 or 3 more winnable games after that before Illinois goes to Michigan State, I think, something like that. But yeah, everything's there for Illinois to win 12, 13 Big Ten games, be a protected seed, and see where the chips fall in March. But I'm not
in Oklahoma City. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, there we go. I'm not jumping off this where it's like Brad's not the guy. This bullshit. This shit's old. Blah blah blah. Like, okay, the resume matters. There's things to correct, but you know what? Look at Florida, 6-4. They haven't really beat any of the good. I think they're 1-4 against their top 5 games, right? And they just won the national championship, and they had almost everybody back. They have a lot of really good, besides Clayton, don't get me wrong. They have a lot of talent, though, and they haven't been able to put them together against really good teams. So Illinois is not the only really good team in the boat where they've lost some tough games where you felt like, man, Illinois should have won that game or could have won that game. And it's okay to be frustrated, but it's also okay to step back and say, I know, what Illinois has done this year isn't a fluke. They didn't get lucky against Texas Tech. They didn't get lucky against Tennessee. And you know what? That Ohio State game is going to be a good win in March. They're going to be a quad 1 team for the majority of the year. I don't know. I don't think they'll get out of the top 75,
No.
So again, tons of quad 1 opportunities to go. I have faith that they're going to get it fixed. Cameron Crocker is a great mind. They brought him in to make defensive adjustments and changes. But I think all that matters is if the guys care enough and there's enough intelligence on the team to get the communication issues fixed. So
yeah.
You could see before the game against Nebraska, they weren't into it mentally.
Yeah, it felt like the USC game. It felt like it from tip for me. I don't know.
And you know what? At the start of the half, I was just like, okay, if we can get a bucket, they had 3 or 4 just crappy offensive possessions.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, this is not good. We're not doing anything here. And then Nebraska comes down and gets a quick bucket from Lawrence, right? Then they get a 3, and then they're up 5 within a minute of the second half. And I'm thinking, here we go again, man. Here we go again. So a much-needed week off for them to get things figured out.
I will say this: like we're hitting 34% from 3 right now, which is pretty decent, which is where you'd like to see it. And we've taken less than 30 in something like 4 or 5 straight games, which is ideal. As I think that this team is realizing we have something at the rim that we can do, and like hopefully continue that. So,
as we found out throughout the game, Kev, Luke Altmaier is going to play in the Music City Bowl.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean that's big.
Yes.
I know Illinois has opt-outs in Gabe Akis and J.C. Davis, but the fact that Luke Altmaier, man, I mean that just to me is like he's our guy, man. Like it's like this dude could say, you know what, I got an East-West Shrine Bowl, probably going to get a Senior Bowl invite. You know what? I don't want to get hurt because I want to play. I want a chance to have a pro day, and get drafted. But he's like, you know what? I'm going out there one more time with my boys, and I'm going to compete in a bowl game. At the end of the day, how much does it really matter, Kev? Apparently, it means something to him. So,
well, it'd be interesting to see who's going to protect his blind side. So, is that Brandon Henderson moving over to left tackle and Brandon Hansen moving in at right guard? Is it Melvin Priestley switching over to left tackle, showing he can play some left tackle? Brandon Henderson at right guard, Brandon Hansen at right guard. Is it Kanapkick? I don't think the older Kanapkick is going to be able to play. He's still recovering.
One of them is Nathan's going to play. It sounds like.
Yeah, the freshman. So like I don't. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see because Brandon Henderson was recruited as a tackle. He's got tackle size. Does he have tackle feet? Tennessee's got some opt-outs. Obviously, Brazil's out.
They had a linebacker. They had one of their best defensive players.
I think it was the pass rusher, right?
Yeah, I think it's the outside linebacker.
Yeah,
they'll probably have 1 or 2 more. I think they do have some other NFL talent possibly on the offensive side, but yeah. So this is going to be a formidable opponent offensively for sure. Defensively, they're not. I would compare them probably. Maryland.
Oh no, Matt Bailey too. That'll not. That's
without Matt Bailey. Yeah, I get. Yeah,
he's having shoulder surgery, so
yeah, it sounds like he wants to go the NFL path. It will be intriguing to see.
Huh?
What? Yeah, Matt Bailey. He wants to test the NFL waters. Yeah.
As what, a long snapper?
No.
How many 4.65 safeties are playing in the NFL, Ryan?
A special team.
That's around 4.65 40.
Special teams gunner. I don't know.
Not fast enough.
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry. He's just not fast enough. Like, can we stop the nonsense? He's a great player. And I gave him a nickname, the cashier, because he lowers the boom. He is a great tackler. If that dude wants to play in the NFL, add 10 to 15 pounds and play linebacker.
Yeah.
So don't get no. I hear Warner and Wagner talk about it, and I'm not knocking. I don't see it. That's not an NFL safety. He's not fast enough.
No. I will tell you though, don't you remember his freshman year? I think he put on, I'm gonna be honest, he put on too much muscle, or something. He was fast and nimble as a freshman. I remember he had some picks with Sidney Brown and those Devin Witherspoon the year they went to Tampa. Remember? You remember? And he was like, I was like, who is this guy? Like, he's super athletic and fast, and all of a sudden he's just slow. He's got like lead in his shoes or something, man. I'm like, who is this guy?
It could be one of those things. You watch NFL running backs get slower. Zeke Elliott was fast when he came in the league. By the end of his career, slower than shit. So, like, it just sometimes football takes a lot out of you. So,
Big Mo, if the young Napkick plays left tackle in the bowl game, that could be huge for the next 3 years.
Well, I think they're higher on his brother than him. So, but yeah, I mean, I agree that'd be nice to situate the offensive line because you got to replace 4 starters this year. So, you know, like seeing somebody like Brandon Hanson, Knapkick, those guys step up. So,
yeah, another guy that's always hurt. I think, and his brother's only got 1 year, I think, right?
Yeah,
he's got.
And I think that was always that was always my understanding. That
wanted to save him for another year. Yeah. Now, I would say too. I think it is interesting to see who the one starter who has pretty much told them that he's going to be transferring. He's going to hit. So Brett Bielema announced a couple of days ago that he's talked to pretty much the whole team. 6 to 10 more guys are going to be hitting the portal, and only one of them is a starter. So, and people are like, please don't let it be Jaheim Clark. And I'm thinking the only way Jaheim Clark's leaving is if Aaron Henry leaves, because Aaron Henry, his wife, her brother was his high school coach down there in Florida, and they're very close. They're very tight. So there's the connection with that. And I would say I've heard rumblings of Aiden Loffrey possibly looking to transfer because they're high on Javari Barnett. Plus, I don't think he feels like he's a priority back with Thad Ward. I think, Valentine and Fagan. I think being in a crowded room, you know what I mean? It's like you got to split reps with 2 other guys, plus a freshman that's going to get tick next year. Like Loffrey's a guy that I would love to see stay, but it wouldn't shock me if he hits the portal. So,
just bite my tongue on that one. That one irks me.
Yeah, it does. It irks me too, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I can't understand how somebody could be like, hey.
I can't understand how you can watch the games and not realize that he's the most consistent, reliable back on the team.
Yeah.
Like, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He doesn't have the pass pro issues. He doesn't fumble. Like, why when he was healthy, didn't he play more?
True.
But Aiden doesn't need to go down a level and play for smaller guys. He's the best running back on this football team. Like, what's nonsense that he didn't play.
What say you?
Look at him. Who led the team in rushing against Michigan last year? Loffrey.
Yeah.
Look at what he did against South Carolina. Look at what he did against Rutgers. Look at what he did against Northwestern. Look what he did in other – like, the guy can play. The guy's a good running back.
It is true.
Bill Moe, he was healthy for 2 games where he didn't play. Healthy for 2 games he didn't play. He didn't play against Rutgers and Maryland. He was healthy in both of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Kev, didn't you talk to his parents?
Before Ohio State game. He wasn't healthy then.
Yeah. But okay, so I wasn't sure if it was you or not, but I do know I talked to a guy that said that those 2 games.
It might have been Wisconsin. Might have been one of those. I don't remember if he played.
But he was a healthy scratch like 2 of the games this year.
Yeah, 2 of the latter games in the season.
Yeah, he was healthy to go. Yep, for sure. So, let's see here as we're winding down. Kev, we'll just jump into final thoughts here, and there'll be some more Q&A from folks jumping in, but I'll let you start here. With obviously tons going on with the hoops team, the break here, with the bowl game coming up. Heck, we haven't talked golf in a while,
Women's basketball's 10-1, looking good.
Yeah, heck, I might be talking about them in my final thought, but you go for it. You can start.
Yeah, really just encourage everybody to listen to hour 1 of the drive today with Jay Lehman on. He had some really great points, and it talked about the consistency, and I meant to bring this up earlier. The consistency with this basketball team where we're struggling with some of the guys is like the guys you can count on to do what they do just about every game. Keaton Wagler, Kylan Boswell, Benham Rickhouse, right? With the exception of Wagler, those guys have been in college basketball for a while, but they're all somewhat like they're United States kids, right? They've been playing like mom can drive over from Kansas. Mom and dad can drive over from Indiana. I think where Ben is from. Like Kylan's from here. Kylan struggled at Arizona with some things. Now he's got family support. I think you have to factor that into some of the stuff that some of these guys are dealing with playing in the United States, like Merkovich, specifically Petravvic. Like now they've got, I just can't imagine what it's like to be 18, 19, 20 years old, 21, 22, whatever, with money, being away from my family, trying to play in this environment with social media. Just like there's still a human being behind it. And Lehman was really going off on Brad's comments about Merkovich. The only reason why I don't share his exact sentiments is because it's kind of not been a Brad thing for a couple of years. Like Brad never trashed Kasparis. Like he never said anything like that, even when Kasparis was playing bad or probably had bad practices. My guess is he knows that David deals with tough love well. That's my guess. Yeah. Terrence dealt with tough love well. There's certain guys you can push those buttons on.
There's certain guys you can make fart noises and know that.
Right, and I think that Brad believes you can do that. Like I don't think he ever did that about Matt Meyer, and Matt Meyer certainly deserved it in some games. Yeah. There's certain guys I think you can pull that lever with, so that's where I disagree. But for us as fans, I understand these guys are human beings. Nobody wants to win more than them. Nobody wants to make that shot more than they do. So just give it a listen and give it some food for thought and understand what's going on. I can't emphasize enough how much this week of practice is going to be important for this team. So get right against Missouri, get right against Southern. Then you get into the heart of the rest of the season's Big Ten, and you go from there. And everything that this team wanted to have in front of it's still in front of it. Still have a great season. Can still win the Big Ten. I don't think anybody's beating Michigan right now, but hey, this time last year I didn't think anybody was beating Auburn. And
I will tell you this: Maryland is dog shit, and they gave them a run for their money. So I think
Maryland got their doors blown off by Alabama. So
I'm just saying, but Michigan's beatable on the road. I really do feel that.
Yeah, and we only get them at home, right?
Yeah, we get them
end of the season.
Yep,
we get that weird stretch at the end of February, beginning of March. It's like tough.
Yes, but thank good. And Illinois gets Michigan at home and Oregon at home to end the year, and then they go at Maryland to finish the season. So I was just glad because I was sick of it, like always being Iowa to end the year, right?
Do we get a double dip with Maryland? Did we double dip them?
I think they come to Champaign and we go to Maryland. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So there are some teams I wish we get in.
Double dip Nebraska too, so we get to see them back at the.
Yeah, we get a chance. We get to repay them back, man. Yeah. We only get Indiana once, so you don't have to go to Bloomington, which is nice. And I think we get Wisconsin at home. We don't have to go to Madison either.
Yeah, the schedule works out really well for this team to still make a run in this Big Ten conference. So that loss hurts. It evens out. I love the Sean Harrington method. +1 for a road win, -1 for a home loss. So it puts us right back at 0. But I think this team can go do some work. I think the schedule sets up favorably. At Michigan State's not exactly fun, but
I'm gonna be honest though. While they're really good defensively, they can struggle quite a bit to score, and they don't really have a lot of really good 3-point shooters. The Divine Ochuka, whatever his name is, he's their best 3-point shooter at the moment. So again, every time we play Michigan State, I already know it's going to be a battle. But so my final thought. Illinois added Croatian small forward, whatever you want to call it, power forward, 6'9" Croatian Tony Bilic, who very, very.
Hopefully, he's not as allergic to defense. Allergic to defense as the rest of the
He's not a Matik Vasil, I can tell you that.
I think he is, but that's my.
Matik Vasil is nowhere. No. I will say this, and I've talked to the people that matter here, and not just on the staff. So he performed in the ANGT Euro competition in 2023 for U18 with guys like Kasparis and a bunch of other guys who've since been drafted. And he was in there in the top 5 he was like in the MVP group. They named 5, MVPs for their session, their tournament. And this guy was in there with Kasparis. So the talent's there. 6'9", high IQ, very skilled. He lefty. He can shoot it. What he needs to do right now is add bulk. He needs to add some weight. And I've been told he's basically to expect him to be a player to contribute this year. If I were to tell you that, I think I'd be lying to you. So I'm not. He is not. He is eligible now to be with the team. He's going to practice with the team, get to sit, work on the system, get to know the team. Mainly work out with Fletcher, get strength, develop to be a guy to contribute next season. So, and I said, well, hey, why is it that we can't see any stats for him from this past year? Well, he's been injured. And not many people really had been thinking about him because of that injury. And I think the Illinois staff can use that to their advantage, as Jeff Alexander and Orlando Antigua like to go recruit over there. So this is a guy that he could just kind of stash and store away and work his craft, get him stronger, get his confidence up. I think he's a guy that there's definitely talent there. You could watch you don't just watch highlights, but the highlights of where he performed well is what I'm looking at. That was against really, really high quality European talent. And, he was one of the top 5 players in that league, in that tournament. So I think it's there. I'm not going to sit here and say I think he's going to come and have David Mirkovic moments next season, right? Or to be Keaton Wagler. But I don't think he's going to be Matik Vasile either. And I think
he's going to be a Matik Vasile. I think we need another practice player until Ty Rodgers gets healthy moment.
Hey, let's just bring this guy over.
No, I do. I think this is a package deal. I think that there's something else going on behind the scenes to get somebody else. He's got a decent handle. He can decently shoot, but he's slow.
And from all indications, it sounds like Brad Underwood's worse than Bielema about telling the truth about what's going on. But but I think Ty Rodgers will be back. I think sometime probably early January to mid-January. So they're not, we were progressing, but hey, he's not putting too much weight on it, right? He's not going to come out and be like, yeah, man, he's really progressing well. We're expecting him back the first week of January. If you put that out there for people, then people are going to expect that. So, but I haven't heard anything to say that they don't think he's going to play this year. Anyway, so if you haven't subscribed to the show, we appreciate everybody keeping it orange and blue at 200 columns on YouTube. We appreciate you. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a review, a like, all that fun stuff. Tell all your friends and their friends. Keeping it orange and blue is the Illini podcast that you want to listen to for sure. And of course, we promote all the other podcasts like Kev does. I can promise you this. You ain't hearing that on other podcasts. Okay. Which, by the way, that shit needs to change. All right. I don't want to hear the whole On 3 can't talk about 247 because we're rivals. And it's like, well, we talk about everybody's show because you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about Illini, and that's what it really matters. So I don't be honest, Kev. Are we going to do a fade the deuce of college football playoff or what?
I talked to Matt about it. Hey, one quick thing. Yeah, we'd have to do that Wednesday, wouldn't we? Maybe. I have tickets for the Missouri game. If you're interested, DM me. I'm not going to be able to make it, and I am not going to the bowl game. Ryan, I don't know about you.
I'm still contemplating the bowl game. It's all about my work situation and taking time off and all that fun stuff. So I really want to because it's a 5.5 hour drive.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It's not. Where are your tickets at for the bragging rights game?
They're 300 level in the Illinois section.
Okay. Yeah, definitely give this man a shout at Illini Deuce on X. With that said, swap me out.
ILL.
INI.